Here we are in the Flame Mammoth stage. Alright, what are we doing in here? We teleport down. What's the first thing we want to do? I would say, first of all, make sure you're charging on the way down. See my input viewer? Be charging on the way down. Then, you're going to dash up to, I would say, this line. Or maybe, you see this line in the background? Maybe a little bit before it. You're going to jump up. I've seen a lot of people have trouble with this, so I'm going to show you what the section looks like, and I'll try and break it down. So not the normal way I would do it, but there's a few ways to do that. I'll try and keep it to like the easiest things. So first of all, what are we doing here? We're dashing about up to the line while charging. As soon as you... Even before you land, like, I would say, you see where the background wall ends, and, like, you can see deeper into the back of the facility? I would say, as you're jumping up, let your shot go right at, like, the background wall transition. And then as soon as you actually land, fire as many lemons as you can. The idea is, if you get a red guy here, you should be able to kill him. Enemies will be jumping from the top. So... the next thing you want to do from there is maximize the right moving treadmill time. So you want to get on like the edge of the treadmill here and start dashing right, and don't stop till you're at the edge and dash. Now this one's going backwards, so the less time you spend with this one working against you, the better. So maximize time on this one, minimize time on that one. You see what I'm saying? Now minimizing time on the second one's kind of hard. That's actually a little bit of a tough jump. Maximize time, minimize. You see how I just get on the middle and I have the oomph to just jump and just barely catch this platform. A lot of people have trouble with that. A lot of you guys will like start falling down here, but that's okay. You just have to get good at dashing and jumping. So let's see. Since this is a tutorial that aims to sort of get you a 35, I think what we can do actually, I'm going to keep it as easy as I can for you actually. Because it makes almost no difference. So I would just say jump, stick it, just dash off and dash off. We're going to go bottom route for this tutorial. I know when I first showed you the way I did it, it looked good, it looked cool. We were up here, and, you know, I did all the cool ice strats and the boomerang. Like, whoa, that's so cool. But honestly, this is a mediocre tutorial, so I'm going to teach you bottom route. So let's go through the stage one more time. Just make sure we have the beginning understood. Charging, jump, shoot, 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 maximize time, minimize time, dash off. Now, I wouldn't say dash off of this one, I'd actually say jump off of this one, because you don't want to be here, per se. You want to land probably more here. And the reason for that is, I use these, like, treadmill legs, sort of, as, like, visual cues. So let me tell you what I'm looking at while I'm dashing under here. So I dash, about up to here, and then... pretend this gap right here, pretend this is an actual pit right here. I think that's the easiest way to visualize it. So when you get here, do like a dash over. You know what I mean? Like just dash over. Try and land as close to in this leg as possible. So pretend it's a pit. Dash, dash, jump. And when you jump out of here, you're aiming for this background wall transition. When you jump up here, you're aiming for this black line that's behind me. And then you're jumping down. So let's try it from the beginning again. Charging, shoot, 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 maximize, minimize, jump, dash, watch the legs, pit, jump, dash, wall transition, line transition, and jump. Now, when you're jumping down this pit, I feel that you don't want to jump like that because then you land there. You want to jump like on this side, so you land like in this rectangle instead. The goal is you want to try, without crashing X into the wall, you want to try and land them inside this rectangle in the background. So always aim for that rectangle as far beyond it as you can get. You're pretty much not getting past this rectangle. So I feel so far the stage has been easy. You're dashing up to this rectangle. Let me double check. Okay, well, I'll take that back. You're dashing slightly past this rectangle. You're jumping into this rectangle. So we'll call them, let's see, we'll go by the rectangles in the background. So the one I'm standing in front of, we'll call it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, respectively. So when we land, we're landing in 2, actually. Dash past 3 and jump past 4. So really, 3 and 4 aren't getting touched for the most part. Like, you're not staying within them. I guess you'll be dashing. Yeah, alright, I'm going to reword that one more time. So here's 2. You're dashing in the 3, you're skipping 4, and you're going the 5. So it's land in 2, dash 3, jump in the 5. Now that you know that, from 5, you're going to jump to as close to the edge of this as you can. And then from here, you're going to jump up to these blocks. These blocks are probably the hardest part of the stage to understand. So I'm going to take most of the tutorial time on this. You have the helmet upgrade, so you cannot break these blocks, which leads you to the Buster upgrade up above. But you're jumping here. You don't want to rush these blocks, because look, I'm mashing. Let's see if mashing. Mashing kind of helped, but like the blocks were broken in a stupid formation. Let's see, but if you like rush too much, like you get stuck here. Like I'm just mashing. You get stuck, you fall. Now it is possible to recover these blocks if you broke only the first, the bottom right layer there. You can still actually. It's really tough, but you can get back up there like this. But if you break, if you do something like this, I just want to warn you, and then you fall from here, you're resetting your game because you're not getting back up there. It's impossible to make that, as far as I'm aware. I don't think that's a jump that can be made. So, what's the ideal strat here? I guess the best thing I could say do is sort of watch me break those. There's actually a very ideal strat, but it's so unreliable. I'll see if I can get it on within 5 tries. It's so damn unreliable, though. See, it's just... Yeah, forget it. I'm just going to tell you what the average strat is. So, you just want to break these blocks, slide down a little bit, and just break up these blocks like that. I can't really go in depth with this one, other than saying, like, you're holding right here... It's too much too fast. I'm going to try and tell you a good example, and then just watch my input viewer for the buttons I'm pressing. That I can't say this one. Hold it right. Just try your best. Slow down the video. I'm going to do this a bunch of times. Follow my input viewer. Notice where X is. Follow the... Because all these ones I'm doing are done correctly. A few more times, and then I'm going to move on. That was a mess up. That was also a mess up. But just try and get a feel for what I'm doing. Actually count these individual blocks. Like, for example, right now I would say I broke left 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. Think of it like that. So right now I broke right 1 and 2, 1 being the bottom, 2 being the one above it. So let's see. Going by that notation, it looks like left 5 and 6 are the only blocks left there. So left 5 and 6 are the only blocks left. That's how you identify them. We'll do it that way. So typically, left blocks 5 and 6 are the only ones you want left, ideally. Sometimes it might be 6 and 7. It doesn't really matter. So, now that you've seen sort of how to do this, you see sometimes that happens. That's not ideal, but you can still get up there. So jump. Now, when you do the final jump here, you want to land on this corner and jump up as high as you can to the capsule. Let's save some frames. So you'll jump into the capsule. You're going to get your Buster upgrade. This means you can now charge all the boss sub-weapons, and they have like special charge moves, and we're going to be using them for the rest of the run. So first thing here, you want to jump down like that. First of all, you're holding down charge. Like, watch my input viewer. This is a cutscene right now. That's a cutscene. But you want to be holding down charge anyway. So you automatically start charging when the game gives you control. The game will give you control when you fire a lemon. If you're holding down, like, as soon as you fire a lemon, the game, like, or about when you fire the lemon, the game gives you control. You want to kind of dash jump backwards and like do like a little diamond in here, if this makes sense. Like watch like what I do. It's like a diamond, like because I'm jumping from here, from this point to up top here, and then hitting here and landing back down. The reason you do the diamond is because it gives you more charge time, so you can switch to ice and hit that guy with a charged ice sled. So I'm going to show you how this section kind of looks. Did I get it? Yes. That's unfortunate for a drop. But, alright. One thing I forgot to mention up here as well, you're also holding down dash and jump. So you're holding down all three of your face buttons. And backwards. So you can do your little diamond and get down. So you just dash along here. Now, this guy with the charged ice, you want to pop him so that the charge... You don't want to get him deep with the charged ice like that. You want to get so the ice is just barely sticking on this platform. Like that. So it gives you just more mobility back here. So what I like to do personally is I like to double jump, switch to boomerang, and do that and get the sub-tank. But that is way too advanced, I feel, for this tutorial. I'm doing a little phantom grab here as well. So, what is the easiest alternative? I would say just do this. And then take your time, switch to the boomerang, and just grab it like that. That would be my suggestion. And just make sure, and if you do go for that, make sure your sub-tank doesn't bonk any of like the guys here, because watch what happens. You're gonna jump over, you're gonna bonk. Look, you just lost your sub-tank. Now you gotta re-boomerang it. Like, it just doesn't go well. So, again, my strat, if you think you can copy it, it's that. I'll show you my strat a few times and compare and contrast it. And I did not get the phantom grab that time. Actually, that's a good point. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have forgot to cover the heart grab. Let's pretend whatever strat you're doing here, right? Let's pretend that you don't get the phantom grab for the heart, right? So the heart is down there on the right, as you can see. You'll probably get your sub-tank somewhere around here. What I suggest doing is landing and aiming. You see this miner in front of me? Aim a bunch of boomerangs at his face, like while charging at him. That's like my way of getting the heart. Like I always like the analogy. It's like you're shoving a nerd into a locker. I don't know, like, but you're doing it with boomerangs. It's like a weird analogy, I know. But for example, so I land and I'm just like fucking busting boomerangs in his face. That might take a little bit to learn, but I feel it's the best practice there for me. It's just like you see a nerd in the hallway in your school. I finally grab the heart, and you're just like, oh, get out of here, nerd. Kind of like that. Mess them up. So anyway, you use the boomerang, get the heart, you wind up here. I would so there's several ways to do this, depending on what you want to do. I think the easiest way for a new player would be just charge C-Sting, let it go, and just go through the section. I know I just phased through that guy, I'll explain that. Just go through this section, and then probably just charge another one of those, honestly. And just phase through the rest of the stage. You now have charge C-Sting. You can cheese a lot of the game now. So you can go through the rest of the stage just with... If you want to stop the tutorial here and just fast forward to the boss part, go ahead, but I'll try and make it a little more in-depth than that. So one thing about this, if we get a red guy here, you can kind of phase through him if your timing is right, just like that. And now a principle of the treadmills is the same as what? Maximize the time on the right ones. Minimize the time on these backwards ones. So you hit the backwards one, you just jump away from them. Maximize the time on the right ones. There's a million different variants to this hallway, and none of them make too much difference in terms of speed. So pick whichever one is the most convenient for you. I mean, you could just like you could do anything in here really, as long as you're just maximizing your time on the treadmills right. You're fine. This section, pretty straightforward actually. Just charge C-Sting your way through it. This is a straightforward set. There's nothing to talk about there. In any percent, there certainly is, but in Hundo, no way, Jose. That's something you don't want to do, though. Like, whatever strat you pick, like, use C-Sting. Here's what I could suggest. What might be the easiest. You could C-Sting there, and I think you... Nah, where is it? C-Sting when you land up here, and when you shoot it, you can sometimes kill that guy. Doesn't matter what you do. Just like, avoid that guy if you have to. Get on the treadmill. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm gonna take this to the boss now. I'm just gonna C-Sting through this section. So it's so simple, you just have to have good movement. You should have enough C-Sting to get through. Alright. Boss fight. This boss fight, not that bad. You don't have to charge or anything going into it. You just have to make sure you're dashing in the door. Remember, door dash it. Dashing in the door. So I'm going to save state. Fire... Oh, I messed up the game. Ignore the glitchiness on the top. Fire a dash lemon at him, and then immediately charge the tornado. Alright, actually, one thing about this guy with the tornado, you don't want to be in his, like, literal face firing your tornado like that. I find it's better to fire the tornado with a tiny bit of a gap between him and the tornado. I'm trying to pick you an exact... He has a bunch of different sprites, so... You have to be about this distance when firing tornado. I see some runners play, they fired tornado like back there, or like they fired early and he doesn't double hit and they're like, oh, what the hell happened? I can't believe the game messed up. Like, no, dude, the game didn't mess up. You messed up. Like, sorry, this might offend some people, but it's true. So, and also, you always want the tornado to be at like at the height of his head, because he has a jump move, and if he chooses to jump, the tornado will, you know, he'll jump, and the tornado will still get him. I'm trying to find a pattern where he'll actually jump. Him jumping is actually pretty rare after the initial first jump. So let's see, let's try it again. But yeah, just kind of repeat this fight I'm doing. This is a very easy fight. This is probably the most relaxing fight in the game to do right. That's it. Also, try and always end on the center of the screen. That's a rule for every boss in this game. Except the final boss. Try and end on the center of the screen. Alright. So the next stage select. So, at this point, I would highly recommend revisiting Chill Penguin. In order to do that, we're going to do up left. Now, you might be thinking, but Berg, we already beat Chill Penguin. We just beat the fire boss. The boss that gives you the fire weapon. We're going into the ice level with fire. So, maybe there's something we missed in the ice level, like a heart for the 100% category. That's what we're coming back in here to get. So, we're going to select this stage. Again, it's just diagonal up left for this stage select. And then just select this stage, and I'll see you there. Now, you may notice my health is really high on this, actually. Just a note on that. That's the way the practice ROM is set up. The practice ROM assumes you beat all 8 Mavericks and got everything so far before you revisit this. My high health here does not make a difference to you. You're not going to have the big health bar like I do. That's okay. But anyway, I'll explain more about this stage on the next video.